clone characters are inevitable in fighting games. If a character is famous enough, then a doppelganger shall appear. Ryu has Ken, Fox has Falco, and Sub-Zero has Frost. But here's the thing, Frost's entire story is motivated by hate. Her only goal in every single game is to kill Sub-Zero and achieve ultimate power. And just when you think she can't get any more evil, she says stuff like this.
I killed my mother when I was 12, and you're like the mother I killed.
Frost's anger is matched only by her failures. So today, we're discussing the most toxic character in Mortal Kombat history. But first, here's a quick word from today's sponsor. Want amazing deals on software like Windows and Microsoft Office? Well then Royal CD Keys has you covered. Their site offers a ton of deals on software for a very low price, which is a great alternative to pirating because when you pirate software, you get the wrong updates or it runs too slow and isn't compatible with your device. All that annoying stuff, which is why Royal CD Keys is a much better option. Just don't forget to use my code TrueUnderdog for 10% off every purchase. Within minutes, Royal CD Keys emailed me the download link and the license key. Getting your hands on amazing software is easy and safe with Royal CD Keys, and I can't recommend them enough. Now, despite being a clone character, Frost is actually quite popular in the Mortal Kombat community, which is bizarre because she pretty much does what Sub-Zero does, only a bit less impressively. For example, Sub-Zero can make an ice sword, which looks really cool. Well, Frost can do ice daggers, which is still pretty cool, but not as impressive because, well, it's just less ice. And even though both characters are cryomancers, Sub-Zero just has more ways to freeze people. In fact, he has more attacks overall. You would think at the very least they would give her a unique attack or two, or something really cool to make her different from Sub-Zero, but no, she really is the Diet Coke of the cryomancers. However, even so, Frost is a popular character in spite of all of this, and it could be because she pioneered the yoga thong. No, but low-key, I am kind of mad we never got this outfit in Mortal Kombat 11. We got a classic skin, but it just looked like Sub-Zero's outfit. Don't get me wrong, it's still a good skin, but I missed the classic Frost design. Even the alternate outfit looked really cool. Seriously, is it just me, or did the 3D era games have the best fashion in the Mortal Kombat series? I don't know, but it's time to move on and talk about Frost's role in the story. Like the title of this video says, she is a very toxic character. Frost is arrogant and power-hungry, and your boy Sub-Zero already knows it, but even so, he has to train her because the Deadly Alliance is a big threat and he needs all the powerful characters he can muster. And because he's a cryomancer too and Grandmaster of the Lin Kuei, he's like, look Frost, you're a good cryomancer, in fact you're the second best, but I'm gonna make you even better. And so the training begins, but Frost is not easy to train because she does not like following anybody. In fact, she thinks that everybody following Raiden is a big loser just for following his lead. So yeah, Frost is not easy to train, and just like expected, she does stab Sub-Zero in the back and she steals his cryomancer medallion. For anyone who's not a big super nerd like I am, the Frost medallion makes cryomancers even stronger, which made Sub-Zero super OD as long as he wears it. And it's very likely that Frost assumed that amulet is the only reason that Sub-Zero is more powerful than her, so she stole it the first chance his guard was down. But guess what? Things did not go as planned. Instead of making Frost more powerful, it completely consumed her with her own cryomancy abilities. And before she knew it, Frost had turned herself into a popsicle. Yeah, that's why you don't betray people. Maybe don't be so toxic, Frost, and you won't turn yourself into a Frost-sicle. And that's a wrap for Frost in her first appearance. She doesn't do anything else. She's a power-hungry cryomancer whose insatiable hunger for power gets her killed. The end. Or is it? Because in the next game, Deception, it turns out that Frost is not dead. Sub-Zero thought she was though. So he carried her body all the way to a Lin Kuei temple and then left her there, kind of like a ceremonial burial with all the other Lin Kuei grandmasters and just great ice people in general. But like mentioned earlier, Frost is not dead, and I'm not sure why Sub-Zero thought she was dead. The 3D era games don't give you a ton to work with, so we're not quite sure why he thought she was dead. I'm gonna assume because Frost is a cryomancer, she accidentally put herself in a sort of frozen sleep and her heart rate had stopped. And as a result, Sub-Zero thought she was dead. I hope that's the reason why, because otherwise Sub-Zero is just stupid and never checked for a pulse. Anyway, Frost is back and she's angrier than ever because she can't remember what happened after she grabbed the medallion. And because she woke up in this weird temple surrounded by Sub-Zero's goons, she assumes that he betrayed her and then left her there for dead and took the medallion back. And even though Frost did the exact same thing to Sub-Zero, it's not okay when it's done to her. That's the ultimate betrayal and she's gonna kill Sub-Zero. She hides away in the Lin Kuei temple and is waiting for Sub-Zero to come back, but he's still in Outworld and apparently there's a really big threat over there and his name is Onaga. And your girl Frost doesn't lift one finger to help with that problem. Instead, she just sits there salty and waits for Sub-Zero to come back so she can kill him. In fact, even her own bio in Deception says Sub-Zero better not die because I want to kill him myself. Yeah, she's mad mad salty about this betrayal, even though she did it herself a few moments earlier. And here's where things get a bit confusing, because it turns out that Frost was left waiting for so long that she just went temporarily insane and started killing everybody because they look like Sub-Zero, they're wearing his colors. In other words, every single Lin Kuei member looks like Sub-Zero to Frost, and her insane lust for revenge has taken over, and she is killing all of them with that angry revenge intensity. And man, that's gotta suck for all the Lin Kuei soldiers, right? Because remember, Frost is number 2, alright? She's less than Sub-Zero, but that's about it. Nobody else can step to her, she's that strong. Now thankfully, Sub-Zero does come home eventually, and he puts Frost on ice. No, literally, he puts her on ice. She's frozen again. I mean, it didn't work last time, but sure, Sub-Zero, just freeze Frost again. I'm sure that will keep her under control. She definitely won't break out again, and she's broken out again, and she's killing Lin Kuei members all over again. Yeah, Frost's story in Armageddon is pretty much the exact same thing, only this time she was freed by Taven, but the exact same thing happened. She went around killing all the Lin Kuei members and thought they were Sub-Zero. It's pretty clear the writers had given up on Frost for some reason. They just dumped her entirely. I'm not sure why, but it's clear they don't care about her story anymore. Nothing else happens for Frost in the events of Armageddon, and that's it for her story in the first timeline. As you can see, she's pure toxicity, and that's all there is to her. She's toxic. But now it's time for the reboot, a place of new beginnings where stories can be changed and fixed and improved. And wouldn't you know it, Frost shows up in the Mortal Kombat X comics, and whew, she be looking good. Step on me, Ice Mommy, ruin my life, betray me as many times as you want, because those rock hard abs and large hips are calling my name. Once again, I'm salty we never got this costume in Mortal Kombat 11. I think it would look really good. Sure, she's a cyborg, so you gotta add some segments on her skin here and there, but it would still look really good in the updated graphics. But I digress, back to the story. So Frost is actually an underground UFC fighter, and she goes up against Cassie Cage, and loses. She did pretty good at first though, and we all knew she was going to lose, because the Cage family is the new poster family of the entire series. There's no way that Cassie Cage was gonna lose here. But the good news is Cassie doesn't do a fatality on her, even though the crowd is screaming for her to do just that, and then they get invaded by these attackers, and Cassie Cage even helps Frost to escape along with Jackie. I'm not joking when I tell you the writers actively did not kill Frost in the comics. There were multiple times when she should have died, but the writers just said, no, we're gonna keep her around. And that's why a lot of fans thought for sure she would be in Mortal Kombat X, myself included, and wouldn't you know it, she does in fact show up for about 2 minutes. Yep, that's all she does for the entirety of Mortal Kombat X. She screams, gets knocked down, screams again, and then gets frozen. Again, frozen for like the 5th time. Once again, Frost is toxic. All she knows how to do is scream and attack people for no justifiable reason. But next up we have the saddest part, because it turns out there was meant to be a comic series in between the events of MKX and MK11. And in this series, Frost actually had a very big role to play. There's actually an explanation for why she ends up hating Sub-Zero and leaves the Lin Kuei clan, but those comics got canceled. And as a result, we only have the spark notes of what happened, not the real details, but enough information to go on. Apparently, Frost ends up fighting Goro to help Sub-Zero out, and he never returns the favor, and she gets bodied by Goro, and I think that's why she hates him ultimately, because she trusted him to be there and have her back, and he wasn't there in time, and she got bodied. But once again, I only have the spark notes, so I'm not sure if there's any more details outside of that, but I gave you all the information that I have. Once again, it's a big shame these comics didn't happen, because I would love more detail on Frost as a character. I want a real explanation for why she's so angry at Sub-Zero. I want to see her go from a trustworthy student to someone who actively despises her teacher and leaves the clan altogether. I want to see that process. I want to witness the character development, but nope, the series got canceled. And not to mention, I'm a fan of the comics in general. I know a lot of people aren't, but I'm actually a big fan of the Mortal Kombat X comics, and I want to see more. And now finally it's time to talk about Mortal Kombat 11, because in this game, Frost got a redesign. They pimped her ride and then some. No longer is she a simple clone of Sub-Zero. She's a cyborg this time, which means her attacks are entirely different than the Grandmaster. And then for the cherry on top, these two skins right here, mwah, chef's kiss, the best Frost has ever looked in the entire series. Alright, but enough about the gameplay, let's talk about the story. What happens in Mortal Kombat 11? Well, unfortunately, it's pretty much the exact same song and dance as before. Frost has betrayed Sub-Zero off-screen and left the Lin Kuei and started her own new Lin Kuei by kidnapping the current Lin Kuei that were under Sub-Zero and turning them all into cyborgs. And because Frost herself is already a cyborg, she is now finally the Grand Master of the Lin Kuei, like she always wanted to be. There you go, girl, you did it. However, it came at a cost, and she had to sell her soul to Kronika. That's why she has any of this power. She didn't get it by outsmarting Sub-Zero or by being more skilled, it was just given to her by the enemy. And despite all these fancy upgrades and shiny new armor, Frost still gets defeated by Sub-Zero because it's his chapter. Yeah, it was extremely underwhelming. Though I do love how NetherRealm put her in a hoodie for no reason whatsoever, because if you're a fan of the series, you already knew it was Frost from a mile away, and if you're not a fan of the series, you have no idea who Frost is, and it makes her reveal completely pointless. And it seems like these new developers abandoned Frost too, because she is absent from the entire story mode until at the very end when she shows up to fight Raiden with the Lin Kuei army. Yeah, she thought she could take Raiden, even though she got bodied by Sub-Zero. What is her thought process? Ah, never mind, she's toxic. She attacks everybody, she's power hungry, she's arrogant, that's her entire character. She is toxic. And of course Raiden wins like everybody expected him to. Frost goes down, and like an idiot, she exposed beforehand that she's in charge of everybody with her neural link, so Raiden goes into her head and just shuts everybody down. And that's it for Frost, the most toxic character in Mortal Kombat history. In fact, even in her own ending, she betrays Kronika, so this chick just can't be trusted. If anybody's above her, she's going to betray them and then take over their job. You honestly won't find many characters more one-sided than Frost. She is pure arrogance, she is pure power hungriness, and she's just all around toxic. That's all there is to her character. But once again, she has fans, and in fact, I'm one of them. So I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, please leave a like down below. It really does help my channel out a ton. And then keep that combo going by subscribing and ringing that bell, that way you never miss a future video. Make sure to come back next time, and as always, stay underdogs.